A slight smile lifted the corners of my lips. They knew I was here. They could feel me, too. But I was something far different than them. I was a half-blood, but I was also the Apollyon, a child of a pure and a half. A union that had been forbidden for thousands of years because an Apollyon was more powerful than any pure or half could ever hope to be. And I always got to the traitors' hideouts before they did, so the sentinels were usually left with the cleanup, which I was sure absolutely thrilled them. The first to enter was a female half-blood dressed just as I was. Her black hair was pulled back in a neat little knot at the top of her head. She was older, probably in her mid-30s. It was pretty rare for a sentinel to live that long. Her dark skin paled as she stopped just inside the entrance. She clenched titanium daggers in her hands like she expected something vicious to pop out from under the bloody mess. The female sentinel tipped her chin up, and the overhead light sliced across her broad cheekbones. She bore a jagged scar under her right eye, the skin lighter in tone. She saw me and froze. My smile widened. Behind her, another sentinel rushed in, almost mowing her over. He saw me and whispered, "Seth." He'd said my name like I was the monster under his bed, and I sort of liked that. Then another sentinel and another rolled in. The fifth took one look at my interior design work and keeled over. Slamming his hands on his knees, he hurled up his dinner. Nice. Our society existed completely unknown to the average mortal and had operated under what was known as the breed order for thousands of years. The order had been dismantled, which meant halves were no longer forced to choose between becoming sentinels, hunting down violent creatures, protecting pures, enforcing laws, and otherwise usually dying pretty damn quickly on the job. Or servants, which was a job that really wasn't a job, but more like slavery. Since then, many pampered pures had signed on to be sentinels, making up for the loss of the halves who'd pretty much said, "Screw this shit, I'm out." This wasn't necessarily a good thing. For example, the dumbass puking all over my blood-covered floor was a pure. When he straightened, his face a greenish hue, he backed away, shaking his head. "I can't," he gasped out. "I can't do this." Then he turned and hauled ass out the doors. I sighed. This was why we couldn't have nice things. The female sentinel had more balls than any of the males with her. She moved closer, stepping over a leg that used to belong to the guy his leg was by the stairs. I didn't know where that first one had come from. Her mouth opened as if she was going to speak, and I couldn't wait to hear what she had to say. But then the air in the room shifted, filling with electricity and a ripple of power. Ancient glyphs bled out on my skin, swirling and forming wards of protection all along my flesh. A column of shimmery blue light pierced the cathedral ceiling, shooting down to the floor a few feet from the female sentinel. As the light faded, a god was revealed. The sentinels hastily backed off. A few even dropped to their knees, unmindful of the mess on the floor. I, on the other hand, raised my right hand and scratched my brow with my middle finger. My least favorite person in the whole mortal realm, Olympus, and Tartarus, smirked as he crossed his arms over his chest. He tilted his self-important, pretentious, woefully and generally unhelpful head back and eyed me with eyes that were pure white, no pupils, no irises. Freaky shit right there. "I sensed a disturbance in the Force," he said. I narrowed my eyes as I blew out an aggravated breath. Did you seriously just quote Star Wars? Apollo, the god of the sun, and other annoyingly important things that made killing him virtually impossible, unless one wanted to end the world, shrugged a shoulder. Maybe I did. I'd been having a good night. Ate filet and lobster for dinner, killed some people.